You are live. Do you give good people of the world? Forgive me again, a few minutes late this evening. But here I am, back with another independent talk live stream. I'm just going to do the usual here, and I'm going to try and cover that numbers thing. Hang on a sec. Piece of paper. Good things come to those who wait. So yeah, forgive me. I just ran off and got a pen there as well, and a piece of paper. So yeah, I hope you're well. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of July, 2024. Never, ever, ever to be repeated. My name is Dennis Delaney, Dulake, Oscailge. And here I am again, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday. Just throwing out a bit of content for people who watch content that people provide. There are many, 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 many content providers these days. So yeah, this is my portal into the world. I opened the portal at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. I've met many people on my journey. Many people. Many beautiful people. A few devious people. Backhanded, underhanded people. But all my people. So whoever's watching this live stream live or after the fact, friend or foe, there's a reason you're watching. And there's a reason I'm doing this content. So I'm driven to do it and send it out into the universe. I know it's an information war. So many portals of information these days. Ultimately, the people get what the people allow. So a few videos here that I've seen over the past couple of days, and I'm going to play them tonight. They just resonated with me. I thought I'd give them a spin. If you have any comments, any topics you'd like to discuss, any questions, regular viewers to the stream will understand what's happening. It's just a few videos, a bit of chat. And comments and questions come in, and we free flow an open and transparent portal every Wednesday at 7 for those who want to come into it. As we make our way forward through life on the journey that is life. So yeah, met lovely people over the last few years, but I decided to come away from, I suppose, the constant social media uploading. So what I want to do is be part of a revolutionary people's movement. I'd love to see that in my lifetime. There has never been one in my lifetime, in my land, in my living memory. I don't remember a people's movement, really, ever. And it's badly needed this day and age. Historic times we're living in. Our nation is being raped and pillaged. Our resources are being taken and sold to the highest bidder. There is not a care or a jaw for law, for justice, for equality, decency. We've got a dark darkness finding its way into society through all the portals of information. And it seems the masses are losing their minds. Yeah, and not many people see this. I recommend the film. I might watch it later myself, just to recap. It's called They Live, and it's about a chap. It's oh yes, the candle is lit. Remembering all those gone before us and those to come after us. We are only but guardians. So yeah, They Live, a film. Check it out. It's about a man who puts his shades on and he sees the world for what it is. But when he takes the glasses off, you can't see. I think it's Rowdy Roddy Piper, the old wrestler from the WWF back in the 80s. Very, very intelligent film. Some people rave about The Matrix and all these kind of sci-fi films, but I recommend you watch that one. They Live, it's called. Very simple, but very powerful. And that's what it feels like at this moment, personally, on an individual level in this world. Yeah, and it's led me to decide to step away from social media as such, and I suppose step away from society, because it's a very fucked up society. I don't like it. So I would like to affect it by affecting change by the people, for the people. And that's the message. And that's why I do these videos. And that's why I've always done these videos. Is to amplify a message, and to try and make the Irish people aware that the system is indeed a dark entity, very corrupt, causing suffering on our people for a long, long time. And don't get involved, and don't waste your time. I dip my toes into TikTok, and it's a whole new level of craziness. Just video after video, opinion after opinion after opinion. People answering each other, taking the bait from the lefties. Unfortunately, there are people out there who don't probably understand or understand, as my friend Darren does say, understand. It's like a popularity contest. You look at it, it's like American politics. People have lost their mind, but the facts of the matter are laws are being broken. We've got corruption rife throughout the tentacles of our state, and the Irish people are suffering. The young people, suicide, antidepressants, low fertility, low birth rate, lowest ever in Irish history, homelessness, young people not being able to afford to settle down. Already on this land, I know of a couple of young ladies, Irish ladies, that already know they can't live here. And I know a chap who lives in Australia. I haven't spoken to him in a couple of years, but he said he'd love to come back, but just couldn't afford it. So yeah, some people would like to push it off, that people just go away for the sun and for the beach, and lots of them people would love to come back, but it's impossible for them. So yeah, we passed this on. I was just having a little conversation, a little voicemail chat with Alan there, and he was talking about how he believes our outfits have a lot to answer for, the generation gone before us, for allowing things to get so bad, so bad. People gave these politicians, these gangsters in suits, free rein, because ultimately people just want to have a home and to have children and live a life of peace, and they gave these cronies a blank canvas to create corruption and suffering on an unimaginable level. And some people out there would rather go on and wind activists up and that kind of stuff. So don't give them your mind. That's very sad to me. I have a few of them myself. It's very sad that Irish people, there are Irish people like that. Yeah, it's very sad. But hopefully, this generation, because their fathers are gone. I'm not gone yet. My father's still alive, but the generation before us are gone, and here we are, and we are guardians now. So it's up to us as a people. I'd love to see a revolutionary movement. I really would, but there isn't much contact from the outside world with Denis Donnchadh. Anything political, really. I'm doing the work with the People's Party. I told you to check that out, the peoplespartyireland.com. The idea behind that is just to spread information and spread awareness, and facts and certified documents, and to unravel the corruption and why our children are suffering, and the hospitals are suffering, and the old folks are suffering, and yeah, gangs, criminal gangs. Yeah, I was just free flowing there. So Yeah. My old lad, I had a row with him. I was telling him I had a row with him there about a year and a half or 2 years ago. He told me to stand down. Stand down, I said. Stand fucking down. Your ma was sitting in the kitchen. I said, they took her first baby. They took your first baby. You know, it's the same people. It's the same people. My mother-in-law has the narcolepsy from the swine flu jab. It's the same people. The mother and baby homes, the Christian Brother schools. It's the same people. It's generational. It's family. Look at Helen McEntee and her father. She got his seat because he took his own life. Things were that bad in his head. And things are bad for a lot of people in the head, and suicide is it's a big problem. So we've loads of big problems. I want to be part of a movement, and I do these videos for that reason, just to keep sending something out. But I understand there are portals all over the internet. But for me, it's therapy. It's to speak out publicly and openly and use my voice and my freedom of speech that I supposedly have. Not on YouTube, though, or any of the social media platforms if you're a baldy. So, yeah, we have to try and get the people off the phones and back into the spiritual, human, physical connection of a tribal movement. Yeah, that's the challenge. Anyways, waffle. Good evening, Siobhan. How are you? Welcome back. The Fish. What's that film? Jerry Maguire. You're my fish, Siobhan. Fair play to you. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the content. I'm a bit red here. I see I was out digging the fence holes today. So I'll play a video and I'll put on a bit of sun cream. Come back to you. Good evening, Siobhan. First of all, the usual vibe. Sending some love out. Love, not hate. Now, videos. In no particular order. People's videos. You know, that's why it's called independent talk. These are other people's videos, more so than mine. It's not necessarily, you don't need to listen to me. There are other people expressing these opinions as well. And no part is too small or too big. So everybody must play their part and stay in the love zone, not the hate.
On these mountains, 101 years ago, IRA Chief of Staff Liam Lynch was shot and killed. Officer commanding of the Cork No. 2 Brigade during the War of Independence, Liam Lynch commanded some incredible operations during the war. In September 1919, under Lynch's command, the IRA successfully disarmed British soldiers in the town of Fermoy and captured their weapons. This was the first time the Irish Republican forces engaged the British Army since 1916. A year later, in September 1920, the Cork No. 2 Brigade captured and raided Mallow Barracks. Led by Liam Lynch, this was the only ever capture of a British Army barracks during the War of Independence. And this is the annual commemoration in remembrance of Commandant and IRA Chief of Staff, Liam Lynch.
So in reality, what happened in 1919 was, I play all these videos for a reason. There's a resonance with them, and I just put them out. But the reason I played that one, 1919, first Dáil Éireann, the Irish Republic was proclaimed. Was created lawfully, and from that moment onwards, it has been taken and continues to be taken. And the people of the land, from what I can gather, we have lost sight of the fact that the Irish Republic was an idea, was a seed, it changed jurisdiction. We were independent, and on 1919, 21st of January, that became lawfully existed, and we're on the 33rd Dáil now. But we're not living in the Irish Republic, I don't believe. And that's where I believe I live, is the Irish Republic. Some people call it the Republic of Ireland, some people call it ERA, Northern Ireland, whatever the hell you want to call it. I call it the Irish Republic. Some people say, that's a Roman word. That's what was handed on to us, Let's not get lost in the word magic that people sometimes do get lost in, extremely lost. They would rather argue about words than facts. And anyways, the Irish Republic was created. It was first proclaimed in 1916 at the GPO and signed by the 7 signatories, and was ratified into law on day 1 of Dáil Éireann. Some people are up at the Bunrock stage. I used to be there myself, and that's cool. We're all allowed to learn and change our mind and get to feel things. And you're not always going to be right. And I believe, at the time, I believed the Bunrock was the shield to use, but now I believe it's the proclamation. I believe from the moment it was created, it has been taken away. And I believe the Irish Republic needs to be reaffirmed, reclaimed by the Irish people and the people of the Irish Republic. The Irish Republican Army, Liam Lynch, them boys were all defending the Irish Republic that was lawfully started on 24th of January 1919. The British Empire did not like that. And you've got loads of, they call it the Civil War and the War of Independence and all that stuff. But it's basically from 1919, 24th of January, it has been under attack. And I believe as of now, it's under World Economic Forum and government control, and Varadkar and Alan Kelly and Micheál Martin and Simon Harris and all these people have done very bad things to the people of the Irish Republic. First, we have to make the people understand that they are people of the Irish Republic. It still exists, supposedly. Anyways, waffle. Therapy, as I said before, I don't talk to too many people about this stuff. Not many people can handle this stuff. They think you're a bit. But as I said before, therapy for me, if anybody wants to ever come in and have a conversation, have a debate, have a bouncing of minds, ask some questions, that's cool as well. It's an open portal. Anyway, next video.
When you are placing these facilities and services that we need for very vulnerable people, you have to have regard for the community into which you are going.
But
and the poorest of the poor communities are not the correct setting.
But isn't this
facilities.
an effective veto? Because we know that no matter how well-heeled your community is or how deprived it is, there is not a surfeit of resources. There's not a surfeit of housing anywhere. There's not a surfeit of healthcare anywhere. There's not a surfeit of GPs anywhere. So virtually no area would pass the test that you were laying down.
No, I entirely disagree. And if we were to take our own home city, Pat, I think you and I could recognise very readily that there are daylight and dark differences between some communities and others. And I feel very strongly that the inequality in our society has to be addressed. The last thing I want to see is any community left behind. And when I say left behind, I'm talking about very, very basic facilities that many of our communities don't have. And that has to be taken account of. I think if you look to standard planning processes, they always have to take account of the reality out on the ground for any new intervention. So in these circumstances, particularly because you are bringing cohorts of vulnerable new people into communities, all of that has to be managed really, really well.
No shit, Sherlock. All of that has to be managed really, really well. Yeah, it is a fact, really, that most of these IPAS centres go into working class or poorer areas, so to speak. It would be mad to see people being brought into the country and placed into more affluent areas than the indigenous as well, though, wouldn't it? I'd find that crazy as well. Anyways, the system has to fall.
I can't stop thinking about this conversation I had about a week ago. They said that you would never see refugee/asylum seeker centres being built in the likes of Malahide, Castleknock, Donnybrook, Southside, kind of. And that really resonated with me because it's true. The government tend to put asylum seeker/refugee centres in communities that are already struggling. So of course you're going to get a huge amount of backlash and riots and protests. Now, don't get me wrong, none of that is justified because the anger is directed at the wrong people. The anger should really be directed at the government to fix the housing crisis for working class and middle class people, and also investing more into the infrastructures and the community itself. But I also think that people like to use things like that as an excuse for like hate, racism, discrimination, etc. I think it's so important to remember that no one chooses to leave their home and start from scratch, okay? So next time, direct your anger at the government.
Can't give out too much about Mary Lou loving the sound of her own voice. Siobhan, I'm sure there are people out there who say the same about me. In fact, I know there is. But for me, as I said before, it's therapy. It's therapy because the people's movements are so fucked up, so messed up, so divided, so infiltrated, so many underhanded infiltrators it stops the movements from gathering any kind of momentum. And yeah, that's why I do these lives, because I'm looking for the movement that sees past all that bullshit and wants to make the system fall. Simple. Not so simple, but first of all, we must have a people's movement with a target, with something that the people desire. Yeah. But personal egos do get in the way, and people get addicted to, social media and likes and donations, and other things become more important than replacing the government, because ultimately that's what needs to be done. Yeah.
I don't think Irish people are going to become a minority. I think that's a lie that's spread by the far right to try and to back their racist agenda.
If the immigration we are seeing now continues, the reality is, if we adjust for a 3% annual increase in immigration, adjust for family reunification at 40%, account for ageing population and declining birth rates, which stand at 1.4 now for Irish people, the native Irish population grows by about 36,000 per year, while the immigrant population grows by about a staggering 230,000. The native population is 90%, the non-native is 10%. If this trend continues, the native population will be a minority within 15 to 20 years.
Isn't that amazing to think? And yeah, it seems many Irish people cheer it on from the sidelines, but they don't. The poorer people don't. The rich people. This is the biggest transfer of wealth mankind has ever seen. So there's plenty of hotels and plenty of vulture funds and plenty of family members and plenty of relatives and plenty of hotel owners and private hospital owners, and this is a cash cow. They are milking it for all it's worth, and they don't give a shit about the people of Ireland. And that's a fact. For a video. No comments.
This, look who I just came across. Himself, the devil's minion. Ferric Powers fucking
scum.
Yeah.
Fascist scum.
I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth.
Fascist scum.
His
Not
one son,
wanted
Jesus
there.
Christ,
Fascist scum.
who
off our
suffered under
streets.
Pontius Pilate, was crucified,
Fascist
died,
scum
and
off
was
our
buried.
streets. Fascist scum.
He descended to
off
hell.
our streets.
After 3 days, he was
Fascist
resurrected.
scum off
He ascended
our
to heaven.
streets. Up the boat.
He ascended to heaven.
The greatest anti-racist club in Ireland.
He ascended to heaven where he sits on the right-hand side of God. It's from there he'll return to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection in the body and life ever after. You can run from me, but you can't run from God, you demon. Goodbye! That man's the Antichrist, you know that? That's the devil. That's the devil himself, you know that? How do you think I just seen him there? That man is the actual fucking devil himself. Did you see that? Did you see that? 6 saints have just been anointed in Dublin by the Holy Spirit, and the Antichrist just fucking appeared in front of us, bro. Can you believe it? Praise God, you just seen the devil leave and run away from God on the bus. You fucking believe that, can you, bro? 100%. Do you believe that?
That's the chap who gave Ferric Power some grief there a while ago. I think I seen that video actually. Yeah, it's very saddening. It's very saddening to see the Irish people cheer it on from the sidelines, and they're all brainwashed through the colleges, through the NGOs, through the student unions, through the county councils, through the libraries, through the health centres, through all state buildings, and it's an alternate reality, really. It is bizarre to watch. I suffered it myself with the HSE when the Wuhan flu came along. You know yourself the way I am. I was the only one who wasn't playing them games. Yeah, but many did. Many willfully, gladly went for these PCR tests up the nostril. Doing them 2-3 times a day. Not a bother. Not afraid of the Wuhan flu. Just wanting to get a bit of time off work. That was the plan. You know. Yeah, and signing up by email for experimental injections. It was mad to see. It was mad to have disciplinary meetings with people I knew wearing masks. Just told me they're just doing their job. They were breaking the law at the time when I did tell them. And yeah, laws are being broken consistently in this country. And we must not get sucked into the American politics, that blue or red, Democrat or Republican. So what's happening now in the Irish psyche is a split. So you've got those who don't really pay much attention. Then you've got the state minions, and you've got the nation, from what I can gather. The nation is a fragmented nation after years and years and years of starvation, war, civil war. And as I said previously, I think that's why my father and his generation allowed so many things to happen. You must remember they were coming from the Catholic Church rule, and the state rule was very strong in the 60s and 70s. This is the state that De Valera was running at the time. doing awful things, awful things, and those people knew those awful things were happening in that administration. They knew they were selling babies to America. They were trialing cattle vaccines on babies. So I wouldn't be holding that crew up as bastions of light and justice and truth. I'd go back to the day one of Dáil Éireann. That is a thing of beauty. Go off and read the proclamation later. It's that simple. It's so simple, but it's so beautiful. But the Irish people have lost sight of the Irish Republic, have lost sight of who they are, where they are, what we are, and we would rather fight and antagonise each other. This American psyche comes in. This whole, if you touch them, they'll sue you. They record everything. It's mental. But from what I can gather, they are taking everything, and our children will suffer the consequences. I'm not going to get involved in tit-for-tat debates on social media sites. Stevie Wonder can see these things. It doesn't take a genius. And again, it's from a place of love I do these videos. I know lots of foreign nationals and I love them all. And I don't give really any thought to people's religion when I meet them. I take them as, a soul within a physical body. And we'll see if we connect and we go from there. And if you're a man or woman of goodness, I don't care what colour, what religion you are, don't care. I've got friends who are foreign nationals, so let's not talk nonsense anymore. The fact of the matter is, there are families being torn apart. We've got a minister for children who is a disaster with some very dodgy connections. But he's placed there for a reason, to enforce all this stuff, this stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Think about Enoch Burke. There's another man who was locked up for nothing really. But there is Irish people out there, including, I remember my father saying to me a while ago, but Dennis, he wasn't locked up. He wasn't locked up for not calling the young woman or the boy at the time or whatever day. He said he's not locked up for that. He's locked up for breaking a court order. Lots of people said that, but you're missing the point. You have to go back to the start. The man done nothing wrong. He was within his God-given rights, his freedoms, to choose. We all have free will, apparently. And he chose, due to his faith and his ideology and his consciousness, to refuse to do that. He was then suspended, all that kind of stuff. You would have known about the case with I believe the actual family, the mother and the father. I don't know if the family are together, but I believe they actually came out afterwards and said they didn't even want to press any charges. It wasn't them. This was a systematic suppression of Enoch Burke, would you believe, in a Christian school apparently as well. So it's like upside down, inside out, but we must remember who we are, I believe. And if we can remember that, and if we can pull some people to just simply keep it the Irish Republic, that's who we are. That's our common understanding. We are people of the Irish Republic who stand against outside interferences, outside forces that have done many things for generations and generations, and they've never left. They've never left. You must remember the first Dáil was brought in, and wasn't part of the plan, but it was brought in. But it's been taken away. Do the people want this government, this system to fall? If they do, if enough of them do, then it will. But it's not there yet. It's not there yet, unfortunately. So more of our people will suffer. more and more people from our land and further afield will all suffer at the hands of these criminals making money off human trafficking, unlawful human trafficking, shouted on from the sidelines by many Irish people, sadly.
3 o'clock, good afternoon, I'm Sarah Coleman. A Romanian man with 37 convictions in Ireland and 12 abroad has received an 8-year jail sentence for the rape of a homeless woman in Limerick in 2019. He threatened the woman with a knife and told the court that he preyed on the vulnerable woman because it was easy. Live 95's Sean Wilkeron has this report, which some listeners may find distressing.
Christian Gagasiu of Mount Kenneth Place had pleaded not guilty to 1 count of rape and 1 count of oral rape at a location in the county on September 26, 2019. He was convicted on both counts by a Central Criminal Court in Limerick earlier this year. The court heard the victim was 31, living in homeless accommodation and struggling with addiction at the time of the incident. Gagasiu threatened her at knife point before raping her. After working for over a year to identify him, Gardaí arrested Gagasiu. He admitted to having sex.
It's too sick to even listen to, honest to God. 37 previous convictions in living in Ireland. 12 convictions outside of Ireland. How the hell did that not raise any red flag? How the hell was that person even allowed? You know, you could say all these words here. But come on, lads, let's be common sense here. This is not right. This is not right. Look, I wish that girl healing. Jesus, what happened to that girl is ruthless. I hope she's not homeless now. And yeah, you know, I would have given 20 years. I would have given 20 years, straight 20 years. And half of that he'd be serving in solitary confinement. You know, treat him just like how he treated that woman. You know, he should have no human rights whatsoever. You know, terrible. It's horrible to hear that. Take care and God bless that poor.
God bless that poor girl indeed. It's horrific, you know. It's horrific when any man rapes any woman. And women rape men as well. There's one for you. Turn it around. It's fucked up, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, sex crimes, people, sex crimes, you know, they need to be addressed. They need to be addressed. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. God forbid any man touches any of my women. God forbid that. I would not like that to happen.
The first question I'd like to ask is, were the guards informed of the migrants being placed in Dún Laoghaire in such big numbers?
Which one in Dún Laoghaire, at Blan Avenue?
Yeah.
I can't answer that, honestly, I don't know.
So you don't know?
I don't know
whether you were informed or not?
And not at my level, I don't know.
You were, not at your level?
That's being completely honest.
Yeah. But you're a sergeant, so you would think you would be informed of an influx of people coming into... Okay, are we just finished now?
There's no point, discussing our practices with you.
So these are just the questions, and we're just going to ask the questions now. We're not going to... Okay, number 2 is who conducts the visa process, and why are there so many undocumented single men being brought into this country and into our communities?
Again, that's a political question.
So the Gardaí...
That's for our government to answer.
Okay, so the
Not
Gardaí...
me personally.
Okay, so the Gardaí would not be involved in vetting these undocumented migrants into the country?
I don't know.
You don't
Who
know.
vets them?
Okay, number 3. Why are the people not being informed of the migrants being placed in their communities?
You've asked something similar already, but...
It is similar. I mean, you have to understand, Murren, this creates civil unrest if...
I can see it. I was up in Ballybrack, you weren't. Okay.
Well, I saw the videos and we have people
But
here.
you weren't there.
We have people who weren't.
I know, and we actually met.
And I have to say, this business of stripping people has been shown to be tortured.
Business of stripping people?
Stripping
What do you
people.
mean?
Well, in fact, I have actually been informed of a number of people who've been arrested and have been stripped naked and put in the cell.
Isn't that interesting? A video came to my head there when I was watching that one. I'll have a look for it. I think I have one more video left. If I can find this one, I'll upload it and stick it in, and you can watch it. So yeah, Siobhan, you're saying it's getting more and more violent every day. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. Breaks my heart. Let me see. I've another video here, haven't I? So yeah, you see with the People's Party, Ireland, that's where I've landed there. I want to do another letter after this one. So this won't be so long tonight. I have another letter to do, but the reason I do them letters is because the People's Party, Ireland, with Gabriel doing filing criminal charges and all the places where all these things have been happening, is also making the public aware that they too can file these criminal charges. The more the merrier. You as an individual, you know, if you feel when you hear them, they hear the letter, if you feel similar, you too can do just as Gabriel is doing. Because once the charges are claimed on the date, it's like the time I got sacked by the HSE. I was claiming at the time what they were doing was unlawful as it was happening, but nobody. It was like that guard there. Nobody could answer the question. People were just doing their jobs all the way through. Multiple disciplinaries at which I wasn't even present because I was telling them, you know, what they were doing was unlawful. So that's the way the system works. And this is, you know, the biggest employer of people in the country. The people who drive the cars and go on holidays and, you know, have the houses and tell us to get a job, and you know, this is the divide. You know, they're raising their family, and I don't begrudge them that. I really don't. I understand it's a challenge for people, you know, but that's the way it is. That's the reality of it. Blind alleys, dead ends, corrupt judiciary. I know on personal level, which I won't get into because yeah, it's my own personal stuff. I see how inefficient the courts are. The HSE was during the Wuhan flu. I provided personally all this information regarding all the injections and, you know, the experimental trials, and people just chose to do their job and ignore this stuff. They just followed World Health Organization advice, and that's all it was, advice. But yeah, that's why I've landed on the People's Party proclamation: superior law above all man-made laws, all positive laws. The proclamation is the superior law of the Irish Republic, and I would like to bring that information back into the psyche of the people. And if I can help do that, great. That's it. That's why I've landed here. Doing the letters, you know, making people aware, the public aware of not even just the proclamation stuff and the Bunrock stuff and all the other stuff, just what's relevant in the last few years. I'm sure you're aware of the debt figures, and look, it is what it is. But you've got that American psychology coming into Irish culture. You know, the red or the blue. It's that simple, isn't it, really? It's a strange one to witness. It's scary. What's scary, Siobhan? What actual thing is scary to you? Let me know what you're talking about specifically, and I'll have a little chat with you about it. We'll have a little therapy session together, huh? Trying to figure this stuff out. But anyway, yeah, the peoplespartyireland.com. There's plenty and lots of letters for you to go back on. Peoplespartyireland.com is not registered with the Oireachtas. You would run as an independent if you were to partake in the People's Party Ireland. There's a manifesto there. It's always up for change by the people. There's no high table. It promotes independent people in their communities to get active under the manifesto, the agreed manifesto, in which you will, yes, sign up to. But what we'll do is, again, there's lots to it. There's not much. You need to go and read and check out if it pulls you, if you think it's something that would pull you, like it pulled me, because it has. It pulls you. Go and read some more. Go and study, and take some time away from social media for a while. Put the phone away and go read them letters and research the people, the organizations, join the dots, the pharmaceutical dots, the systematic dots, the corruption, the funding, the NGOs, and try and remember the message is simple. The proclamation of the Irish Republic is the jewel. It's our shield. And if you, for the battle ahead, that's it, folks. I don't know what else to say to you. It is what it is. The killings and attacks on people, it's horrific. It's horrific, Siobhan. Break your heart. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It would break your heart. Just off the top of my head, I still have thoughts of Aisling Murphy. Horrific for her and her family and her man. And he made a statement after the trial, and he gave out, he questioned the immigration policies of the state. The state and its minions kind of, sadly tried to flip him off as a bit of a racist. Would you believe that? But anyway, the children outside the school, the two gay men down in Sligo, it was at Moffat, I think, was horrific story. There's loads of them. It's horrific. It's very sad, and it is being enabled by the state. It is part of their plan. It is working perfectly. It is all part of their plan. Sure, that's why it's happening. They're the ones creating all this. They're the ones reaching out for it without asking for the people. They're the ones for unlimited, unvetted. And it is part of the plan of all of them. And I see Mary Lou McDonald talking there earlier about, we have to suss out the areas. This is what the political movement, the current political system does. Just drags the people along and doesn't get to the root of the matter. Doesn't take off the head of the snake. It prolongs things. And that's why there's so many new political parties. It's gone a bit crazy out there. It's like Father Ted. It's like Ireland has become America on speed. Political parties popping all over the place. It is quite bizarre to witness. But please don't let them suck you into the political game. which is to prolong the narrative. And, you know, the narrative from me, I suppose, and the narrative of the People's Party is it needs to stop. And the people need to stop it. You know, not drag this on. This generation needs to have a generation-defining movement on our land, and one encompassing all those who see the darkness and evils of the capitalistic money men states. No longer falling for religious divides. Protestant, Catholic can no longer. If you need a real people's movement, you know, we have to respect each other's right of faith, and that's what the Irish Proclamation does. So, you know, there are differences amongst us, but no longer can we allow it to be demons. We must raise above that. There has been nobody speaking for the people for generations. Sinn Féin done the Good Friday Agreement. They were set up in the late 70s, early 80s by the MI5. We know all this. So yeah, we've no People's Council in this land. We need to create it quick. We need to get the power back into Dáil Éireann, into the Dáil Éireann courts. We need to reinforce the proclamation of the Irish Republic. We need to lock up criminals. We need to send home criminals. Unlawful people must be returned home. Anyone who's here lawfully and in need of help, by all means, we're Irish. That's what we do. But enough is enough. It needs to stop. You know, no longer can we fall for this racist stuff. We must rise above it. And the Protestant and the Catholic divide can be no more if we're taking on a crown corporation. You know, unless you are supportive, then you'll support that. But I'm standing on the proclamation of the Irish Republic, and I think we need a people's movement standing on it. It's that simple. Not many people watch my videos that I know of. The views, according to me, are very low. But as I said before, therapy for me as an Irishman to speak openly. I get it. Not many people like to listen to this stuff. I get it. But People's Councils need to be formed. You know, I did see that the Irish Freedom Party, and who else was it? A couple of weeks ago, I seen it. The Irish Freedom Party. Was it Ireland First and somebody else? I don't know. Coming together, or proposing coming together, and that's a step in the right direction. We can only encourage that. We must encourage our people to come together and look at the issue we have. We can't contest this for years. We need to come together as a people and stop this state peacefully and lawfully. Please God. But where they're going with it is driving us down a road of, you know, and that's not to try and promote any propaganda or hate. As I said before, I come from a place of love. Always have, always will. And I'd rather less interaction. I'd rather more pure loving interaction than having. I'm more of a quality over quantity type of man. But yeah, I do have a desire to be a part of a political movement. So I encourage that. Yeah, and we'll see what happens down the road. But as I said before, my phone doesn't ring very often. But I'm only a grain of sand in the universe. But I'm a special grain of sand in the universe. So we have to remember both things, all these things. We are not the center of the universe. There's a whole multiple of worlds out there, multiple social media celebrities and UFC fighters and rappers and sports stars, and the people are hooked. The spell has been cast, and yeah, since 1998 Good Friday Agreement, we've lost sight of who we are, I think. Now, Alan's in the room. Good evening, Alan. Good evening, brother. Good evening. I'll give you a shout after this. I'll give you a shout after this. I'll give you a voice message. I won't give you a shout because it's getting close to my golden hour, and I have to do that letter as well for the People's Party. So if you see the letter, share them out if you want to. Share this out if you want to. Other than that, I send you my love. How's it going, brothers and sisters? How are you, Alan, brother? How are you, man? I'm going to study them. Thank you. Yeah, Siobhan, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I am pushing out that message for people who feel things are very wrong and feel things are very, 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 very urgent. And we need to know who we're taking on, what we're taking on, the things that they have done, the unlawful things that they have done, the corruption they have done, the backhanders they have done. They are all being laid out in the age of information before the people of Ireland. But it's an information war. And the world evolves every single day. So, yeah, research them because we need you. We need the people's movement. Exactly 100%. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at Alan blowing kisses and all, huh? The National Party and Independent. Yeah, you see. Are you saying the National Party? Are you asking me? Are you suggesting that I should become a member of the Irish National Party? Is that what they call them? The National Party. Is that where you've landed? Let me know. I'd be interested. So yeah, I would be very keen on the National Party up until about 2 years ago when the shit hit the fan. I thought I had potential, and I know Justin Barrett is what could you say? He is a character, a personality that you either like or don't like. You know, it's like that. It's that thing. And I like the way Justin was talking. Yes. I was keeping an eye. I wasn't really close to joining any political party, to be honest with you. But I was keeping an eye on the message coming from that, and I was very encouraged by it at that time. And I was upset to see it kind of, I was upset to see Justin Barrett being pushed away as well, I suppose, from the activists, by the activists at the time. But yeah, then the National Party thing happened, and yeah, it's still going. I know Justin has created the clan something. I emailed them a few weeks ago. I haven't got a reply. I'd like to check out a meeting. The National Party, Patrick Quinlan looks like a good lad, and there's good messages coming out of there as well. It looks good to me. I have to say, very impressed. There are some good lads that I have seen. James Conway as well, I believe, has good potential. I really do. There's many good people out there doing good things, so we can only support them and stop, focusing on the things you don't like, because that's what social media does. It makes you people say things they don't. It trains people to be a certain kind of attitude, to be hurt by words. But yeah, I like what I'm saying from Patrick, I have to say. Who else? The National Party. Yeah, I don't really know of anybody else at the moment in the National Party. So Patrick Quinlan is now the National Party leader. Is that what's happening at the moment? I don't know, to be honest. I haven't been up to date in the past goings on there, because I was kind of saddened by the whole. I thought that was a shame, but we'll see. Maybe it's all part of the learning process for the Irish people of Ireland, people who are now getting into political entities, and it would be great if we could have one that would be kind of like Sinn Féin of 1919, the 1918 election, something like that, where there is a coming together, and that's why I like to see the Irish Freedom Party and the Ireland First coming together as well. That's a step in the right direction. I spoke to Ireland First a few months ago, and maybe a year ago at this stage. That's why I was fucked out of the Bunrock group, would you believe? I went to meet Tommy Murphy and another lady with Darren to discuss the Bunrock, to give them the Bunrock and let them know about it. Yeah. So it's interesting, folks. It's interesting, and we can only try and play our part without, going to dark places and saying bad things about people and going into the negative space. I try and remember the good things people brought to me, even those I'm not connected with anymore. I try to remember the good of the individual and remember that and operate in that place. So then I don't become a bitter old bastard, focusing on the negatives of people. Try and focus on the positives, and you meet people, everybody for a reason. There's a lesson to be learned. If you're looking to receive lessons into how people conduct themselves, the messages they're saying, how they deal with the world, I don't even know what I'm talking about. National Party, Irish Freedom Party, IR. I don't know who IR Allen is. IR. Sorry, the National Party. So that's Patrick Quinlan and the Irish Freedom Party is Herman Kelly, and then IR. I don't know who IR is. I think the Maliki as well, and a couple of others. There's a bit of stuff there, so that's good to see as well. I can only encourage that and just keep, helping in any way I can in my own way. Yeah, we need something. That's the parties that got together. Yeah, good. Good. That's good. Are they going to become the one entity? Are they going to drop their names and just become one? Are they going to use? I think I seen Herman doing a video about how the Irish Freedom Party name or the brand was more established than the other ones. But yeah, it's interesting, and we'll see how it goes. It's hard to sort it out, but at the same time, there's a lot of chaos comes with him. I don't know. What's the chaos, man? What's the chaos? From what I can gather, from what I could kind of gather from my own kind of looking into that subject was, I didn't look back too far, obviously, into Justin's youth or anything like that. But I know that he's a man and he's with a woman, and they have 2 children, I believe. Yeah, and I don't think he's ever. I know the system and the state and the media went after him and tried to make him, be a bit of a I suppose, a bit of a Hitler type character, or Napoleon, because he's a small man, like, out there. But lots of the stuff he was talking about was, quite good. Yeah, sure. Look, we'll see. Chaos. I don't know about the chaos, Al. What? Who creates the chaos? Who creates the chaos? Why is there chaos? Sure, he's a man. He's an individual. What chaos? Yeah, sure. We'll see. Time will reveal. But I think of one more video, folks. Let me see.
You know what? I actually have to just come on and make this video and just say this, yeah? I'm at the being walking across O'Connell Bridge. I was with my mate, and he walked into some old woman by mistake. We hit off our bag. We helped pick her back up and all. We said, we're sorry. Tell me why she starts hitting me with the, get out of our country. And I was like, I couldn't believe that she said it. I was like, what? And then she said, you was Africans and all of this and that. And I was like, wait, hold on a minute. I said, I couldn't, like, this has never happened to me before. I showed her my passport and I was like, what are you on about? I'm Irish. And she's still giving a load saying people are, our children are, imagine this, she said, you're killing our children. She said that to me. I just couldn't, like, I don't even know, I'm speechless. I know, yeah, don't mind them and all, but that was the worst thing I've ever experienced before. I don't care.
Must be hard for that lad to, yeah. Don't become a racist bastard. Come from a place of love. If anyone wants to bring you harm as an individual, self-defense, take his fucking head off. But, yeah, people are people. It's the governments and it's the states and it's the affiliations and the treaties and the pacts and them people that are the problem to the people, the poorer people of these nations. Remember that as well. I know there are some evil bastards making their way in as well, and they must be found to be bad. They must be ejected. But first, we must take control of the national Dáil Éireann as a people. Hopefully, in my lifetime, I'd like to see it. Anyway, I'll leave this be. I'm going to go off now, have a cup of tea, do Gabriel's latest letter. And I will talk to you all next Wednesday at 7, if the Creator sees it fit. Yeah, Al, Siobhan, thanks for entering the room tonight. And I will see you next Wednesday at 7, if not before then. I'll give you a shout now in a few minutes. Much love. Ihawa. Long live the Irish Republic. Free Staters, I see you.